Hello, hello, visionary entrepreneurs, life changers. Welcome back to our Momentum Monday. Today is our episode 182. Let's talk about how to have your super productivity and at the same time enjoy it as well. I know I'm not reading the title exactly, but it's like today let's talk about the productivity and enjoyment at the same time. Okay, so welcome back to this is a middle of almost like close to middle of November now, and the weather is getting a little bit colder, and I hope everybody is keep the warmth. And at the same time, let's review how we can enjoy the day more with higher productivity and enjoyment. And why I'm talking about this today, because last week actually very interesting. I had some of my coaching clients. We had a coaching session, and when we talked about different his goals and challenges, and then the topic go to specifically and his challenge actually about his productivity. He talked about his struggling with like, oh, he feels like he's not quite as productive as he wishes when he was at home working environment, right? And from there we talked about the how to get to a better productivity. And then very interestingly, we also talked about the environment. So today I want to emphasize this too, because we had a great, I just noticed that through our coaching, the client had a great epiphany and also that kind of transformative moments. And I think, oh, okay, this is great aha moments and transformation. I want to share the best empowering ways and also the secrets with you today, so that hopefully will help you increase your productivity. It's actually not just productivity, it's really like a super productivity and also enjoyment at the same time. So first I want to ask you to give some honest feedback, right? And let's have some like interesting conversation. And by the way, I'm now going live inside of our Facebook group, Abundant Entrepreneurs. And later this video will replay on our YouTube channel. So make sure wherever you are, if you are passionate entrepreneurs, we encourage you to find the link, join our Facebook group, Abundant Entrepreneurs. We have the seminar group on LinkedIn, but we are going live in Facebook. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel, okay? By the way, so the question first is what things, I want you to have some reflection. Okay, what things when you are doing, right, you feel like you have a best productivity and also enjoy it at the same time. Okay, just have some brainstorm. Okay, write down, because this is the perfect reflection time. When I was doing that coaching session with a client, we had some quite great discovery, and he get a better awareness and discovery about himself, right? Because normally when you are busy, you may not spend that time to really reflect on those things. You may think it's trivial, but eventually find it will make a big difference. And because you will understand better about your patterns, about your styles, and what will work the best for you. Okay, the first is like what things, think about things. Like for example, I will give some example. Okay, some real cases for my clients. He found like when he's doing, for example, he has an IT background, and when he is doing some like engineering part of work, and also when he was like mentoring his like, let's say, team members or his team, and mentoring some younger people, even though he's not old, uh, not much old, right, much younger than me, but he's mentoring and helping other younger ones. And for those things, he enjoyed it. He felt like he's quite productive. And also, like for example, if he's working with a remote team, remote people, and he needs to teach them how to do that things and improve things, right, he felt like he's also quite productive. And for me personally, I enjoy, for example, like the Momentum Monday, right? I'm now doing a live video, and before this I was thinking and brainstorming and like reflecting and getting inspirations from the resources. And also at the same time I do the deep reflection and the deep meditation as well, and for me to get the best idea and the best inspiration and the best also the practice to share with you, right? So I was quite productive and also at the same time enjoying it as well. And another example is like I love creating uh, let's say content that's impactful, that's full of value, inspiration, and from a best, let's say, from best juice, what you live the day or did your work, and what's the best inspiration and great that kind of empowering content. I love to create those things, and during that time I would be super productive and enjoying it as well. So how about you? I was wondering. Oh, by the way, another thing is like, let me see, what else I enjoy the most. So coaching is my number one. When I was coaching my clients, say witnessing their transformation, right? Initially, they may stuck into some like challenges, but once I inspire them, empower them, they get into another side and become excited, become inspired, like they become more creative and empowered, right? And the lights, the joy, you can see that from their face. Initially, like maybe heavier, right? And but once they get inspired and empowered, they became another side, excitement and look forward to things. So that was my best moment, right? Like coaching people, empowering them, and also like creating very impactful and empowering content. That's my second part. Um, let's say creative part. I'm quite a creative person. For example, last week we started like actually through a few weeks I had different partners, and I initiated the partnership and had the, like, let's say, conversations and have the constructive building the partnership, and then create together something like including webinars, including some projects, and that ones make me feel like very productive and also fulfilling as well, right? So quite some examples. So I must be in that kind of, as you can see, all those three categories, I'm quite in that kind of a creative mode as a creator. So that's my best time. So I'm wondering, how about you? Give us some example. Okay, comment under the video wherever you are watching it, and share with us what things, by doing what things you are most productive, enjoying, and also maybe creative, right? So share with us. I would always love to see what's your feedback, and from there I could give you better. I will always reply and give you also like a better feedback to you as well, to support you. And now the second question is about so first we ask the what things, right? And the second one is about the environment. Have you ever really observed the environment? So this is why it's a quite interesting topic. With my client last Friday, we did this coaching session, and I coached him to reflect about his different environments, and we did a very interesting, let's say, evaluation by, it's almost like created a matrix like by different environments and different and we have like let's say uh, the vertical part, we had the different environments, right? We listed around six in different environments, and horizontally two columns, I would say columns, right? One is productivity, another one is we call either pressure or enjoyment, right? So it's a very funny, very interesting, exciting exercise, I would say. So for example, he would put office and then home office in this different categories, right? And for example, also like in a public park, he tried that. And also another one is airport, when he was traveling, right? He's working temporarily at the airport. And another one is like very interesting. My client is very creative. He used to, because he's working for a great big company, and he earns a lot, and so he has a budget to even rent like a side office right next to his company's office building. That's a very interesting thing, right? Majority of people would not do that. I would say he's very creative. So he could have some like a lunchtime rest, and sometimes he would like do some extra work there, so that he could have some like a some more balance, I would say. Because if you always in the office, right, in that like a public that kind of environment, you do not feel like you have a freedom. So he wants something of his freedom, so he rented the next building, right, to have his own space. So, and he has some like could have some like rest, have some break time, have some meditation there. That's a great one, right? If you have, that's very rare, by the way, for most people. But if you have the budget, you can think about doing that. And then some other environment, I also suggest him try to explore some cafe, right? Cafe area. For example, of my another one of my I would say clients and also friends, she actually enjoys more working in coffee area, and she invited me to go to that in Manhattan. It's a very friendly place compared with most like a mechanical and boring modern kind of a coffee area. The one she chose in the midtown, I think it's like it's more like It's with a nature decoration with some plants around and from with more. It's I think that coffee style is from maybe South Africa. No, not South Africa, South America. So it's quite kind of a cultural environment, and it's very homey. It's very like a welcoming, very warm, comfortable, like a welcoming, friendly, that kind of environment. Okay, it's not like a too modern, too like you quickly grab some coffee and leave. In that place, you just want to. There's some like a lounging area, sofa, and different chairs and areas, and right, you feel like very friendly for you. You want to sit there and do your work, or you want to maybe invite your friends to gather with you, that kind of environment. Okay, so I was also encouraging my clients to find something in addition to his office and home office, and he could also have some coffee area, right? Because he rated, we gave like from 1 to 10, 10 is the highest, and he rated some numbers, right? Especially he said like for example, the public park, for me, different people totally different. Okay, for me, for example, home office, now he feel like, oh, at the home office his productivity is no. And for me, home office is my best place. Now I'm in my home office, even though I have my kitchen and my background, a bigger living room and there. But because I've been in my entrepreneurship for 15 years as a coach, right? So I've already learned the how to be more concentrated. Also because my environment, when my kids were in the school, I'm by myself, and it's quite like a big house. It's like a quiet environment. I also have my windows, big windows in front of me. Actually, when I'm now talking to you, I'm facing the camera and also facing a big window with trees and backyards, like plants around me. So that's what I must have, right? With windows, you can see there's a window and with plants around me. So my clients actually use his, we get on the Zoom, he uses his camera, showed me his environment, his home office. That's why he's actually living in a very luxurious place in Manhattan, in an apartment, a beautiful apartment. But his office area, his home office area is at the corner. There's no barely any decoration, and it's just a boring corner for like his own cubicle, right? And now he and his younger like a baby daughter, and the baby daughter and mom and the nanny were enjoying. Most time are enjoying the best part of the whole apartment, right? Like big windows and sofa, TV, kitchen, all those area. He said he enjoys the home, that part, but once he get back to his cubicle, his work area, his efficiency is not good. So I give him quite some constructive suggestions and for re-innovation. Very not really like a construction in re-innovation, just some decoration and some adding some simple stuff, and that can immediately improve his own environment, the home like office environment, and also the separation from the living area as well, and give him more like a that kind of a quiet meditation type of like, and also productive environment. After we talk about that, I gave through all this kind of different discussions, right? He said, wow, he's quite excited and he can't wait to add those like a mobile wall, like the like new style of the lights and the decoration, like the painting right in front of his wall, like big wall. And every time he's just facing the laptop and a wall is a like a blank wall. To me, I cannot imagine that. I must have like I suggest him to add like for example, big painting with a window, with a nature, with everything, right? Even though he could not move his apartment into a nature, but he can create that kind of atmosphere. So all those kind of sounds like tree versions, including some plants, right, to add that kind of life in his environment. He immediately felt like wow. Even before he started to do those things, he felt like wow. He felt excited. He felt like that will change his environment. He's looking at his environment. He's like, oh, I can definitely increase. I can definitely have this and that, including some posters with like, for example, motivational stuff, right, and the things like your affirmation, right, or your vision board. I have my vision board. I have my bookshelf. I have plants. Everything surrounding me make you feel like a pleasant, right? That's a great part for you. You want to improve your environment. And by the way, yeah, he's giving very low like scores for like a public park. He said he went there. There's quite a lot of let's say distractions for them. For him, and also people walking past by him, he's distracted, right, like that. So I feel like that's quite interesting because me, if I stay in the park, I could be quite productive as well. So totally depends on different people, right? Different person. And the airport, okay, and side office, okay, but home is a relatively lower, right? Office, he's a little bit higher, but not so pleasant. So I also encourage him to improve a little bit about his office environment as well, right? But more now, important thing is something more important than the environment. Something can actually overcome any environment. By the way, one case from my daughter, she said she works the best in coffee area. She wants to pretend that she's like adults, right? She's sitting there on the coffee table, ordered a hot tea, and to have her laptop, iPad in front of her or cell phone in front of her, so she can do her homework and projects, whatever, like best productively. So I was joking with her. I said, um, so I said, oh, okay, now you have to depend on the coffee area, coffee environment. Once she got home, her productivity is lower because she has her bed, she has her and whatever, all her stuff, right? Like all her even stuffed animals, all these kind of things has that distraction. So I want to share with both my daughter and also my clients. There's something more important than even your environment, that when you have this, you will not be influenced by your environment. And that's where I want eventually them to go, right? But of course, I encourage them to improve their environment. For example, I need to have my window and my tree and my nature in front of me, and I can see the sky, the blue sky with the sunlight, whatever, right? That's my and that will not limit my imagination, right? If I just face in the wall. So definitely can improve your environment to get better results. But the another side, more important than any environment, is like, for example, sometimes you cannot choose, right? If you're traveling, you went to the airport, and you may find some like a better corner than some other corners, right? But still, like, you could be limited by environment. For example, sometimes you have to be, and because of pandemic, thank God, right, most people now get that kind of a luxurious free time to kind of work at home. But sometimes some companies can still require people to go to the office, and some bosses, they prefer people to gather together so that they can monitor them, right? So it's not like always you can get your freedom or the environment you prefer. And sometimes, for example, even though you are in your favorite coffee area or favorite park, and there could be some accident, those people like around you, they do not pay attention, they speak too loud or laugh too loud, it could be distraction to you, right? So despite all this kind of environment limitations or distractions, how could you still be productive? So the second one we want to emphasize is like how you can still be super productive no matter what kind of environment you are in. I still remember because I came from China, right? Immigrated from China. I remember there was the old, the original premier. I remember that kind of like the leaders, right, from the government. He gave the perfect example of him. He by purposefully, he went to those noisy place to read his books or do things, and to use that way to train his concentration. And you can actually try that. I have that capability. It's like if I am doing, this is a secret. Okay, if I'm doing what I'm really passionate about, I'm really doing what I'm purposely aligned with, right? And in that kind of creative genius mode, I would be super productive no matter where I am. Even like people are doing, let's say they're cleaning trashes and garbages, whatever, and people are doing like the mowing the lawns, all these noises around me, all the helicopters, right? In New York City, helicopters are very noisy, or sometimes the airplane, and noise, and the siren of the police cars, right? All passing by, or even fireworks, and also concert. The concert in that stadium, sometimes people living close, they said that they will be distracted. But for me, even like a labor's music, or I used to, now this neighborhood is quiet in the Forest Hills. But when I was like years ago, when I was living in Brooklyn borough, and all those kind of houses and apartment are quite close, right? And I know quite some of our neighbors, they play very loud music during almost like close to midnight, right? That's a little bit disturbing. But I still know that whenever I was in my creative genius mode, and especially things that are really aligned with my purpose, with my vision, I can really like exclude all this kind of distractions. I don't care. I don't care. I can really get into that kind of genius productivity zone and forget about other things. Did you ever have that? Did you ever have that moment or that kind of things? I hope you can find at least one. And during doing that, you don't care about anything happening around you or all the noises and the distractions. You're fully in that creative genius, and you're so focusing on it, and you just want to get it done, right? So that's I experienced so many times when I was super creative, that kind of mode, and also at the same time doing what I love to do. Okay, so this is super important. Do what you love to do, and the things that are aligned with your purpose, with your vision, with your passion. That's the best things to do, right? And another thing is, because sometimes, and let's say, um, more logical thinking, right? Maybe sometimes you may not necessarily doing all the things that you are passionate about, or you are let's say, doing what you love to do, including in the entrepreneurship, right? Even though I love coaching, this is my purpose, this is my vision, and but sometimes there are still like tasks, right? I'm not super excited for it, but there's another secrets how you can improve your productivity and enjoyment as well, right? Here is the this knowledge we shared before here, but I want to emphasize more. It's like, have you heard about Eisenhower matrix? Eisenhower is like his full name. This is actually the 34th president. Let me see what's his full name. And let me see. I have a resource in front of me. I want to actually find his a little bit background to share with you so that you can remember better. So yeah, Dwight. I hope my pronunciation is right. Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th president of the United States. Okay, he is also a 5-star general during World War II. 5-star general. Okay, you can think about how they are productive. He presented the idea. Actually, he quoted this from I think it's like a university's principal, but he did not mention about the name about that. It's like unnamed university president. Actually, president. He said he presented the idea that was in 1954 in his speech. He said, I have two kinds of problems, the urgent and the important. The urgent are not important, and the important are never urgent. That's very interesting, right? And further, the book, the author of Stephen Covey, the author of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, this is a great book, and he actually further developed Eisenhower's saying into a matrix, right? He said he called it Eisenhower matrix and made it more popular. So the Eisenhower matrix created like 4 categories, you can say 4 quadrants, and this is for time management. It's also for task management, right? How to improve and also help people to get a priority. And because most of people don't know their priority, they have so many things every day, right? All the things that are overwhelming. So this matrix helped so many people to distinguish, right, between urgency and importance. And so that's why this is so popular, and many mentors teach about this. But here basically it's like there are core quadrants. One is like things to do, urgent things, right? And they actually, Eisenhower's saying is further developed by Mr. Covey. It's not just like urgent is not important. There are some urgent and also important thing, right? So these 4 quadrants is like urgent and important. You do them, right? You do them immediately and doing them right now. And the next one is urgent. It's not urgent but important. So that things to schedule. That's things to schedule, right? And the third one is like things are urgent but not important. So that's things to delegate. And then the last one is like things are not urgent, things are not important. Why do we need that, right? So delete them. See, that's very simple to understand, right? And actually, I reviewed with my coaching clients about this Eisenhower matrix, and taught about him, reviewed about his things, and how he can put into better priority, and especially align with his long-term goals and long-term success, right? And so things, for example, I remember we reviewed 3 category things. that should be his things to schedule that he need to do, right? I know in his working environment, majority time, people are in firefighter kind of mode, right? It's just like, oh, things are urgent by this kind of deadline, that and we need to do that right now. So many things. But at the same time, you should never forget about those things to schedule, including, for example, the things for your personal development. Super important. Whenever you feel like burned out, you feel like you're so stressed, like that means you miss your personal development time. You did not give yourself enough time. So my client, I felt so happy for him, like through just the 2 coaching sessions, he made like a really dramatic improvement, because he used to be very like firefighting, a lot of like work requirements and urgency and stress. He had to take like a sleeping pill for, let's say, for a few years now, 4 or 5 years. And now throughout coaching, only 2 sessions, he's already like a first session as throughout coaching, he's an encouragement, right? He's already put his like sleeping pill only for weekends. Oh, sorry, only for work days, because work days he still need to get up very early, so that's he need to like sleep like get into sleep like as quick as possible, so he could get barely enough time to sleep, and the next day get up early morning to get in the office. But at least he started to like do not depend on the sleeping pill during the weekends without urgencies, right? And then through the second session, after he returned to me, he reported that through the whole week now, he's not depending on his sleeping pills. Even though there's some like withdrawing kind of symptoms, sometimes like during the work days, he feel like he gets some a little bit cloudy during the morning time, right? When he wake up without taking any kind of sleeping pills the night before. But I taught him the best meditation ways, abundance meditation, right? Shared with him the resources, and also encourage him, like, because the sleeping pills could have like after a few years could give you all those kind of side effects, right? So he had that determination to do not depend on it throughout coaching, and also encouragement and holding him accountable. After the next session, the second session, he came back to report that he's not taking the sleeping pill during the work days and also the weekends, and just a few like have a little bit like a cloudy time, but he's overcoming that, and now he also feel like he's more productive. He's not depending on a remote support as well, and all his different aspects, right, and the life and the meditation, right, everything, and the health as well. He reported a big like dramatic improvement. And now that's when we are talking about personal development, right? Including all this part, including your health part as well, your personal health, well-being, and your personal development. That's most actually is important. For some people, when you get like sickness symptoms, right? This is urgent for you because, for example, he felt like shoulder pains and neck pains as well. These ones become your urgent. But then once you do not have those symptoms, your well-being, your health, and your personal development should be still be your important things, super important things, by the way. And but maybe not urgent, right? But then you need to schedule them and put that into your daily scheduling. And for example, every day, at least just like 10 or 20 minutes meditation. And sometimes I told him how to do that, even 5 minutes or even 1 minute of kind of like a quick meditation when he was in the office, right? That can really make your day different. And you want to schedule that into a daily habit so that you could have a long-term health, happiness, and success, right? So that's super important. Number one, that's for long term. And another one type of things, for example, the skills you want to learn to prepare for the future, right? Not just like, oh, you use your previous strengths or skills and just for now. But now, for example, we have AI, this is a new world, and all these kind of technologies, right? And maybe not directly in the knowledge, but how to use this kind of word, how to catch up the trend. For example, use the chat GPT, how to help you to brainstorm and get better ideas, right? And how to help you to face your challenges, and how to think about some creative ideas, just to have some assistant for you, right? All those things you need to plan some, schedule some time every week, maybe not every day, but at least every week you spend 1 or 2 hours to learn about the new trends and catch up, right? So that's the second part. And third part, I remember we talked about, like, for example, the opportunities, right? And what kind of new opportunities you may need, open one eye on it. Do not just use all your existing resources and opportunities. You want keep an eye open for, like, for example, read some articles for, like, the trend, and read some articles for, I coach my client specifically for his area, right, for his zone, what kind of opportunities and knowledges and he needs to pay attention to, and also create opportunities in that area, right? So those three categories you need to, it's typical examples for the quadrant two. That's for the not urgent but important. You need schedule for them. Okay. And now the third quadrant is urgent but not important. You need to delegate to other people to do, right? And maybe find some other people who are either it's like your team member or you're under you or whoever, right? Who maybe they are better at those things, or you leverage people's resources and their strengths. Let them do what they are good at, maybe better than you, right? So, and the fourth quadrant is the things are not urgent and not important. There are so many, right? Including every day, scroll down those like TikTok and Instagram and spend hours on those short videos. Maybe you are interested in what's going on, those trends, right? For the content marketing purpose, maybe it's useful, but try to limit that, like, for example, limit into half an hour or not over 1 hour. And for other things, trivial things, you want to delete them, not necessary things, right? For example, by the way, my environmental maintenance for let's say for cleaning now the winter, the fall time, right, the autumn time, all the leaves and the big trees and all the leaves, right, the environment is full of falling leaves, and sometimes you have the urge to want to clean all of them one time, but I know that it's too much time consuming, right? And it's not very super important and urgent, right? So I would do that once a week, and one time a part of it, and instead of all to do all of it, that will make me exhausted, right? I also some other like environment cleaning things, that's like important, by the way. It's important and you need to schedule them, but some trivial parts you do not want to be like perfect, right? And I let them be. Some other, like, maybe for example my sister is very like I don't know how do you call that, it's like a clean, has that a very cleaning kind of not a control freak type of personality, right? And I'm more like a laid back and okay, it's fine. I do not need to be like so neat, right? And for that part, it's my weakness. I would say maybe in their eyes, it's my weakness. I was super busy. I was more focused on doing what I love to do, including coaching, including creating, including work, right? And the kitchen is quite clean, but other parts my desk could a little bit mess, and some other parts could have some, still have some like corners not so super clean, right? So those things I let them be, because I do not want to exhaust myself, and I also do not want to to be too much into those, because if yes, I could hire a nanny to do that, but at the same time I do not want people to like bother my life environment. So you need I would say, based on your personality, based on your like values, based on your priorities, right, you decide how much you want to go into that, and do not necessarily meet all other people's judgment or their criteria, but at the same time live a comfortable life of your own. Okay, so that's part of those quadrant things, quadrants, those four quadrants. Delete things, there are quite some things we can delete, like for example, for yeah, we want to have more friends, right? We want to have a like better friendship. But for some people, when you have some interactions feel like it's there, they do not have that energy you want, they do not have that quality you want, you do not necessarily need to go to all those kind of a networking things, right? And you need to be very picky to say what kind of a networking or events are really worth my time, and people are good quality and they are aligned with your purpose, with your vision, and they have the great quality as well, right? So you want to hang out with them, you want to create opportunities. But some other people, you can really not, but our life is limited, you cannot just time is limited, energy is limited, right? Even though we have abundance mindset, but you cannot be realistic, you cannot make friends with everyone. Of course, I always be conscious, like whenever I have the opportunity, even outside with the strangers, I will give them the favor, whenever I can, right? Give people like that kind of positivity and encouragement. But you cannot make friends with everyone, so you need to be like cautious and also like picky to see what kind of events or those, because it will occupy your time, right? Your precious time. It's really valuable, like worth it. And then you just allocate your time for that. Okay, so other things you may like, other events not so valuable, not aligned with your long-term purpose, you can just like ignore them or cancel them or delete them, whatever, right? So that's a 4 quadrants. That's the logics or like the wisdoms actually behind how to what kind of things to focus on, right? And what things and really can have both productivity and also the enjoyment. So I'm not sure, have you get yours now, get better aha moment and better inspirations? I would encourage you to write down under the video, let me know, let us know, actually not just me, or our audience, we can have this kind of sharing, right? Will be very interesting, where you can see, for example, the environment, where you can see that improvement can help you improve your productivity, both productivity and your enjoyment, right? Especially our office. Like I love my home office, even though the desk a little bit messier and messy, obviously not messier. I still need to clean up time from time every week at one corner. But I love my books by my side. I love my big windows. I love my plants around me. So I feel like I'm unlimited here. I feel like I love my corner. So you want to enjoy it. At the same time, you want to keep learning about the secrets, including the Eisenhower metrics, right? And also your own practice, how to really decide your priorities. Every day focus on those things. And we also have some other teaching, right? For example, every day focus on the top 3. Even though you are put them into urgent and also important, you want to focus on the top 3. Those things can help you this day to be productive, to be fulfilling, and also to be appreciated. Okay, and at the end of the day, when you are doing the meditation, you want to recall your day, what you've already accomplished, and no matter big step or small step, right? Always appreciate, and that kind of energy has like a closure of your day will be the best. Have the both compassion and also like gratitude of the day, what you've already created, what things you've already contributed. You will feel a great accomplished day. Okay, to make you feel both productive and also enjoyment at the same time. Either you call it enjoyment, pleasure, or like happiness or joy, right? Different levels depends on your own feedback to yourself. But overall, it's a really that kind of a joy and happiness, and from your productivity, doing things that is meaningful, that has a long-term value and impact and contribution to your success and to your fulfillment. That will be the best combination. Okay, so let us know what's your best inspiration and what would you implement. That's the most important thing. Okay, learn, get inspired, but then take action to improve. That's the best learning. All right, so we will look forward to hearing from you. What's your idea, what's your inspiration, what's your creative like implementation, and we would love to support you to get more higher productivity and also enjoyment and success, fulfillment from your life and from your work. Everyone, okay, again, on this Thursday we'll have our live master class to teach you how to launch, either not just launch your business, because so many of you already launched your business, maybe, right, entrepreneur, but how to maybe launch your next successful project within 90 days, and at the same time help you stand out as confident expert and thought leader in your field. All right, we'll see you, find the link in our post, and we'll see you on the Thursday live event, and take this today's Monday momentum through the whole week. Let us know what's your best implementation and result. Okay, we can't wait to hear from you. Everyone have a wonderful Monday, and we'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.